Danny Nelson, Associated Press, Christopher. Adam was just in here and he said at one point he tried to coach you a little bit and said that you had another control over the radio. You kind of tell me what happened there, and did you feel like, what made you feel like so confident that you had it?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I really dislike is whenever people start giving me lap countdowns. So that's one thing. Well, I've really struggled whenever I made the transition to NASCAR because the races are so long, and yeah, so like even my spotter, I think they just get caught up a little bit in the moment and just like, hey, that's 20 to go, 18 to go, 15 to go. I'm like, dude, I don't need a countdown here. So, you know, and then Adam I don't exactly remember what he said, but something along the lines of, you know, we got 50 laps to go, don't burn your stuff up. But I'm like, man, there's still so much race left. I don't need a reminder of how much longer we got to go. So, you know, at that point in time, I had a good idea of where we were at in the race and how much longer we had to go on tires. So, yeah, just wanted to let him know that I felt confident about what we had, and it worked out.
JC.com. Christopher, you're undefeated here in the Xfinity Series. You got the truck win, now a Cup win. What makes you so good here at New Hampshire?
I wish I could tell you, but the truth of it is I've just had great race cars. So it's a bummer that I think I crashed or had I had problems in 2020 with the 95 car, because early in that race we were looking like it was going to be a top 10 or possible top 5, and then I think we had a brake rotor explode or something like that took me out of it. So that was a bummer, and aside from that race, it's been a great racetrack for me. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything that I have that makes me good here. I think I just have great race cars that allow me to succeed.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to go to Matthew and then Nathan.
Matthew Lawrence with KQRacer.com. Christopher, JGR has been dominant at this track with the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars. And just to follow up, what has made this organization so successful up here?
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is just the setup. But with that being said, the setups today in the next gen era is unlike anything else, and you can't even use notes from, you know, the last 10, 12 years of the Gen 6 car. So, you know, in some of these places that we go to, like Richmond is another great racetrack for JGR, and some of their philosophies or whatever translated, and we were good at Richmond with the next gen car. But then you look at the road courses, which were racetracks that we were super strong at last year or last several years with the Gen 6 car, and now we're pretty much out to lunch with next gen. So yeah, I mean, it's I really can't find a rhyme or reason to why we succeed at certain racetracks, but they definitely have their good tracks and bad tracks.
Some of the podium finish, Christopher, as kind of a follow-up to that, Ford had won the last 4 races of the year. Today was kind of the opposite with Toyota dominating. Is that just kind of the next gen car, or is there any other factor you think that kind of led to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just what organization hits it that weekend, and you know, there's obviously a lot more Chevy and Ford teams than there are Toyota teams, so there's a lot more opportunity for them to dominate the race than it is for us. So, you know, last week at Atlanta, well, it's a speedway race, so I'm not going to count that. And then before that, what would we have? Road America with the JGR Toyotas have really struggled at road courses this year. And then if you look back at Nashville, we were one of the best groups, probably the best group. So, you know, it just comes in waves, and there's racetracks we're good at and racetracks we're not good at yet.
Now, obviously, you're the 14th winner this year. Now, Martin's on the cut line for you. Is it more just relief that you have that win and you're feeling safe on points at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's been stressful. After the first couple of races of the year, I kind of wrote off pointing our way into the championship, and then we had a stretch of really good races and kind of turned that around to like, hey, we might be able to do this. And then you got guys that kept winning, and the point or the cutoff line kept creeping up and up and up. So it feels really good to hopefully get myself above that cutoff line by a couple spots.
Go to Bob.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. Kind of following up on what Dan asked. Like, when you told Adam that, like, you got it, I mean, did you just have confidence in what you saw your car was doing and what you saw Chase's car was doing that you would win?
No, I mean, I definitely didn't feel like I was going to win at that point. But, you know, I think Adam was just trying to make sure that I wasn't getting spun up in the car and get excited to see him in front of me, I guess. But at that point, there were still so many laps left that there was no reason to get excited. You just had to take what it was given you, and the best car was going to win. And at that point, we still had a ton of laps left, so that the cars were going to go through another migration of lap time loss and tire degradation. And whatever car was best in the long run was going to win at that point. And I wanted to let him know that I was calm inside the car and just doing my job.
I mean, you said the best car in the long run was going to win, but I asked Chase, who had the better car, and he said that you probably could have won in his car. And I'm curious, like, do you feel like you drove a great last stage there? I mean, is that one of your better runs as a driver?
Bob, this sport is the sport of NASCAR racing, and pavement racing in general is just so humbling. And I'm going to tell you a story of one of my, younger Xfinity races. I think me and Kyle was in the field. We were at Phoenix, and I passed Kyle on one of the runs, and inside my head, I'm like, man, I'm getting good at this racetrack. And then we come into the pit stop, make a pit stop, come back out, and then the next run I'm running 5th, and I can't do anything. And what that engraved in my head is, you are only as good as your race car. So if your race car is fast and you have a first place car, it's pretty easy to get to first as long as you do your job. And if you're a 5th place race car, you're probably not going to take it from 5th to 1st. And with that being said, I had a first place race car. At the end of that race, basically the last 3rd stage, my car was the fastest one out there, especially on the long run, and I did my job to maximize that.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit Frontstretch.com for more great content.